Hello everyone, this is Brian Bentley at CoinOpTV bringing you gameplay and commentary for Safe House on the PC. Safe House is an independent game made by Labs Games. And I'm not usually the kind of guy who sits here and goes, oh, it's like this game or it's like that game. Except in this particular case, it's probably easiest to describe the game as a combination of Fallout Shelter and Papers, Please. Now, both are great games in their own right, but this is kind of how it works. You have rooms, and in each room does a particular task. Each room is a particular type of mini game that can be played during the day. Now, each day is broken into 3 sections. The construction period. Now, I'm going to show you some rooms that they have that I've already built. But the construction period is when you build rooms in the place. And usually it takes about a day to kind of build one room. So at this point I have all the activities you can do, but you need I can get some bonuses from some of these rooms. The second thing, which we're about to get into, is called the assignment period. Now this is where you take your spies and Black Ops soldiers and send them on missions, right? And one of the, obviously the spies have different, things that they can do, and they have different, spies are about, stealth, charm, or investigation, infiltration, and charm. So it's about sending a spy to go do something. You send the spies and the soldiers on missions. Those missions then either further the story or get the spies some experience. So I'm going to level up the spies, and you'll notice that when it gets to so I level up Belle, Petrova, and when I get to James Carter, I start to have some issues. And I'll get to some of the issues that I have with the game in just a moment, but I want to finish talking about the assignment period so I can go ahead and level up all my people and then send them on a new mission. Once we finish the assignment period, that's when the day, quote-unquote, starts. And you go from 12 a.m. to 10 a.m. when you run your Black Ops and your spy house. So your safe house, essentially. And there are different, mini games that you can do during this time in order to procure money, and then, so that you can build more things and recruit more soldiers and spies, etc., etc. If you mess up during the day period, that amount goes towards the enemy. And once the enemy intel gets to a certain point, then you start getting penalties. So I have already triggered the penalty where all my missions have a 10% less success rate. So this particular one called Supply Lines, I would start with a 50% odds of success, except now I'm down to 40. All right, I'll talk about some of the pieces, different mini games in a minute, but so a couple of things that are really bothersome. For a game that's going to be not in early access, there are more than a few hiccups. You'll notice I've even increased the camera speed and it's still kind of wonky. The clicking does not work well. Come back to that in a second. First one I'm going to show is the loading bay. You basically just have to compare the number that you get and either reset, if it's on that list, accept. If it's on the list, reject, and you get it from there. That's probably the easiest one, but none of them are particularly hard. And I think that brings up the next thing that I want to say about how something that's a little rough around the edges is, other than, if you take your time, there's really no increase in difficulty. The more you rush it, obviously, the more you have a better chance of getting it wrong, but ultimately, in this particular case, as long as you click on the items in the proper order and press submit, you will succeed. And if that takes you to slowing down just a bit, you can do that. There's no penalty for not getting X number of missions or things done during one particular morning. The mouse does not work particularly well. The click boxes for many of the items, words, submit buttons is very small, which can be problem. Plus, there's no way to change the mouse sensitivity in the game, and that is honestly probably my #1 problem with the game is mouse sensitivity. Because I would like to be like click, 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 go, 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 and I cannot do that in this particular game. Now we're going to do the forgery. So essentially, as long as you enter their name correctly and their country of origin, you put the seal, the photograph, and the signature, which require no skill other than to put them in the proper place. And then figuring out the flag. Figuring out the flag is probably the hardest part of this particular mini game, but it is not difficult per se. It's not like you can accidentally put the photograph in the wrong place and they penalize you. That's not really how it works in this game. I mean, overall, I mean, I am having some fun with the game. I'm definitely having fun with the game. There's no doubt about that. It's just, I wish the game would increase in either speed or difficulty or something where I can get to doing it and it requiring more than just me taking my time, making sure things are correct. Now I'm only part of the way through the story. As a part of the story, I have done things that are against my orders because I wanted to help person or whatever. This is the front office. Now with the front office, the spy comes in, makes a statement. If one of the words in the statement matches, then we respond with a word, and if then they respond with the correct word on page 2, bing, we accept them as one of ours, and we give them their money. Now, that's the end of the day once it hits 10 a.m. You take your total cash. Now, I'm going to, for day 2, I decided to, here's the enemy intel, but I didn't fail any particular, I didn't fail anything, so that's not applicable. Oh no, I failed a mission! That's rough. So I failed a mission. I failed one mission that I sent on, and I succeeded in the others. But now I'm going to skip the assignment and construction periods and get to a couple of the things that I did that are not that you didn't see previously. So this is the interrogation room. The first thing you need to do is make sure that they were born in Kazataire, and then see whether or not they are a person of interest that needs to be interrogated. Again, not overly complicated, just, you know, reading and making sure that it's correct. Alright, now you'll notice that I did start building something in that middle room, right in the middle of the screen. I decided to build a spy tech workshop. Now the cipher is actually kind of one of those interesting mini games that I had trouble with at the beginning. I'll admit that. Because I was sitting there going, okay, what is plus or minus O? So it's P, Q, R, S, S. Okay. And then N, M, L, K. Okay. And I write that down. And then I'm like, okay, well, I didn't even write it down. I was just like, okay, I can remember this. Then what I did was I brought a piece of paper over. And I did a column A to Z. And then I just started using my pen and going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'd write them down, figure out the word, and throw the word in there. The cryptology is clearly I don't know if the word is most complicated. Yeah, let's go with that. Is the most complicated of the tasks, except it's not particularly complicated because a lot of times they don't put the right word. They use Q's and, you know, other letters that'll definitely make it very easy to throw you off as to what the combination of letters could be. Lastly, I'm going to show you the infirmary. Now the very first thing you need to do is give them a blood bag, and you just need to match the blood type. And this can be a little complicated because you need to do the medication name needs to match both in what the person needs on their card as well as the right name on the infirmary list. Now, I have gotten into a weird glitch where everybody needs anti-poison. Apparently no one needs painkillers, blood clotting, or anti-infection. So I now know all 4 anti-poison medications by name and spelling. And then you just have to match the ingredients to make sure they're not allergic to them. that's going to be it for this episode. We're going to thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.